It took hundreds of thousands of casts. Thousands of miles. Hundreds of tournaments. These are the top 28 teams from 2019. Time to get them on the water. Time for the 2020 Georgia Total Electric Championship at Hard Labor Creek Reservoir. The guys will be competing against each other on this 1,370 acre lake. Contains 12 billion gallons of water to hide the bass. They'll be looking for the 5 biggest that they can find by 3 o'clock. This Georgia reservoir is known for turning out 5 fish limits of 20 to 25 pounds of bass. We're going to be riding along in the boat with 6 of the top 28 teams in Georgia. Stick around, see how these guys tackle this massive electric-only reservoir. Daylight starting to break. Let's get these guys blasted off. See who's going to win the 2020 Georgia Bass Tech. As the guys make their way to their first spot, let's introduce you to the anglers. Seen these guys before on Decked Out Jon Boats. They won the 2019 Point Championship with high voltage bass anglers. They also won the Classic in 2019 with high voltage bass anglers. Daniel qualified for the 2019 Georgia Bass Tech. Daniel, Nikolai, and Jeff Davidson. These guys were double qualifiers last year for the 2019 Georgia Bass Tech. They were the points champions with Dixie Jonboat anglers, John Long and Jack Butler. Half of this team was your 2019 runners-up in the Georgia Bass Tech. They finished second in Electric Bass Opens. These guys had a 28-pound bag in the spring of 2020. So look out, they could be contenders in this tournament. Tim Wyatt and Justin Reynolds. These guys not only run Dixie Jon Boat Anglers, but were also the runners-up for the 2019 season. They've been known to take my money on more than one occasion. Chris Cutsell and Brandon Sanders. This is their first Georgia Bass Tech. Their club just got in 2019, and they were the points champions through Dahlonega Jon Boat Anglers. These guys love to throw a jig, so you're going to have to look out for them. We have Aaron Bland and Jason Brown. These guys were your 2019 Georgia Bass Tech champions right here on the Hard Labor Reservoir. They weighed in over 20 pounds of bass. They requalified through small water angling teams. Mike Strickland and Chris Gayton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Tony Hush here with Fly Waters, checking in with Mr. Brett Cummins from Decked Out Jon Boats, and I'm going to be assisting Brett today, covering the Georgia Bass Tech 2020 Championship. Brett, what are we doing? What's going on?
We got the guys blasted off. Looks like we still got 3 boats going down the lake, and Brandon and Chris have made it to their first spot. Looks like out of our anglers with a camera in the boat, they're going to be the first ones with a hook in the water.
I'm either gonna keep him on top or keep him down. I'm gonna get him straight on. Give me a full pass in the thing,
As Brandon and Chris get that one in the live well, looks like we're going to be joined by Tim and Justin. Now, those guys are known for 2 things, a frog and an A-rig.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that Justin's probably already hooked up on that frog, Brett.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like Braid's singing through the guides.
No full A-rigs in there. Yep. We are. They gonna have to grow. We got a limit of A-rigs in there. Fishing is so healthy.
We've got Jack and John finally getting to their first spot after making that long run to the back. Still going to be hanging out with Tim and Justin. Who else are we checking in on right now, Brett?
Jason and Aaron still headed all the way back to the back of that long arm, past where Jack and John are. We also got Chris and Mike hitting the backside of that bridge up the middle arm.
This must be a pretty good little hot spot because
yeah, I knew that morning there was talk of pretty much a race up that middle arm to the bridge. That is where it was won last year in that area. We did have a 22-pound bag weighed in our classic from up that arm, but the really big fish always seems to come from that long arm.
I don't know. They catch all right.
oh wow, looks like Mike and Chris are hooked up. That's their first fish going in the box. If I'm not mistaken, Brett, did he catch that fish in shallow water?
Yeah, it definitely seems like that all of the fish catches early are coming out of, you know, really shallow water. Chris is known for throwing that blade bait. That's what they won the tournament on last year. We'll see if it's going to pay off for them.
This is going to be really interesting to watch, guys. Y'all stay tuned.
Nobody's supposed to be out here, right? But everybody seems to be going to the same spot. They all went center or left.
You hear Jack talking about where everybody went, what everybody's doing. Jack is a real mental fisherman. He is always looking for something that's going to give them an edge out there on the water.
Yeah, I've always been one to think that when you can tackle the mental aspect of these tournaments, you can really give yourself a leg up against the competition. All right, here we are. We're checking in with Thomas and Ryan from SWAT.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had a little camera issue. Didn't get a whole lot of footage of these guys. Got to check in at weigh-in, see how these guys did.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss this because we saw a little bit of on the water action that may not be on camera. And trust me, guys, you are going to want to see the weigh-in. Checking in with Daniel and Jeff. Looks like Daniel's hooked up on a good solid fish. Is he throwing a Carolina rig, Brett?
Yeah, it seems like definitely got a couple of patterns working out there right now. Early, a lot of times early, the shallow bite will fire. We're just going to have to see if that'll hold out all day, or if that's only a normal pattern and who can adjust during the day to win this tournament.
You know, we got all the spots that we want.
Talking about two different patterns. We got Jack and John putting their first fish in the boat. And if I'm not mistaken, Brett, that looks like a blade bait.
The first one, but I don't know if it's gonna keep.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the spinnerbait is putting keepers in the boat. Just a question of who's going to find the right bait to get the size in the boat.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting tournament to watch, guys.
Yeah, it's anything crazy.
Looks like we're staying with Daniel and Jeff. Daniel's got a backlash. It happens to the best of us, especially on these cold mornings with cold hands. But you watch how slow he moves this bait. He's about to pick up another good quality keeper. Is this going to be a time when that slow dragging pays off? Or do you think that blade bite's going to hold out all day?
I don't know, Brett. you know, with my experience in this time of year and stuff, and just the funny temperature changes, I've always found myself feeling more confident in slow dragging a bait on the bottom. It just seems to pick up those real lethargic fish that are kind of already fed, and they're not really looking to really go after a fast-moving bait right now, because they're just hunkering down for the wintertime or getting closer to their winter habitat.
Yeah, I can tell you from being out there on the water that it seemed like the activity level was down about 20 feet. So I'm sure that, you know, this tournament can be one up shallow, can be one out deep. It's all going to depend on who gets those couple of quality bites, those 4+ pound fish in there, and also has a good limit to go, you know, besides those 2-pounders, keepers, they need to get some good quality in the live well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be interested to see if that bladed bait bite is going to, you know, produce those kicker fish, or you're going to see your more typical pattern this time of year where dragging a soft plastic or even a jig or something to really stick one of those pigs that this lake is known for.
Is that the weedless one? What? Is that the weedless one?
Yeah, we've had a lot of crazy weather patterns. It really got cold. It warmed back up. I'm not even sure that the lake is actually fully, you know, turned over yet, when usually you'd be dealing with that. So it's a question of shallow or deep, moving baits or dragging baits. All it comes down to.
Yep. It's any man's game, and guys, the only way you're really going to find out is to watch all the way to the weigh-in. All right, guys, so we're checking in with Aaron and Jason. It looks like Aaron stuck a pretty good one this morning, and you can just listen to that braid singing on this cold morning.
Yeah, these guys are throwing 2 big fish baits. Look like Jason's got a rig back there in the back, and Aaron's throwing that jig, one of my favorite baits, known for catching big fish, and could pay big dividends for him today.
I can tell you one thing, it ain't much to do with fishing with foot. It is just a beautiful morning to be fishing this tournament. I mean, look at that shot behind the boat. It's just absolutely gorgeous on this lake, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
Get back out. I'll show it to you. Oh, it's a freaking 8-pounder too. I promise that, and I'm gonna get it out. Look up the party shop. Hey, look at that sunshine.
All right, so we got Aaron and Jason here keeping the hand hot going this morning.
Come on your side.
They're getting another shot to keep it going in the boat. It looks to me, Brett, that that jig seems to be putting some fish in the boat, and I think you might know a thing or two about some jig fishing, don't you?
Oh yeah, I've been known to catch a few on this lake on the jig, but these guys seem like they're fishing it deep right now. You know, I like getting out there and covering water with a jig, which a lot of people don't think about, but these guys are moving it pretty quick. They can put a lot of keepers in the boat real quick if they're on top of that school. Boy, it was a beautiful morning out there. You can see the sunrise here in both these boats.
Hey, wait a minute. What's going on under that bridge, Brett?
Did y'all see that? Hold on, let me back it up for you. All right, let's try that one more time, see if you see it this time.
That is a solid hook set right there. We need to check in with those guys.
Yep, let's go ahead and jump in the boat. That's going to be keeper number 3 in the boat for Nikolai and Jeff. Definitely seems like that Carolina rig was working this morning. They're on numbers of fish. They're on some decent quality.
Yeah, I definitely think they're putting together a solid bag, especially this early in the morning and still that much time left to fish.
Yeah, get that limit in the boat. You know, it kind of settles your nerves, especially during a championship like this. And then you can really settle down, focus on fishing for those big fish, and really up your bag.
So we got Jack and John here with another fish coming in the boat. I think that this lake's typically known for, Brett, but why didn't he measure? Why did he just go ahead and throw it back?
We got 28 of the best teams in Georgia out there on this lake. And this lake is known for turning out big bags. Those guys know that with a little fish like that in their bag at the end of the day, they're not going to stand the shot, you know, to be in the lead at the end of the weigh-in. So they went ahead and threw it back. Been a couple over 10 pounds weighed in. 20 pounds is the normal to win out here. They know they don't need to waste the time. They need to get back in there and try to catch one of those good quality keepers.